Why would aliens want to visit our planet? So today I want to discuss this. It may seem diversified from my field, which is the spirituality field, but spirituality, yoga, meditation, energy healing field, we're dealing with higher dimensions and we have a conviction, right? And a strong belief, conviction. There are, living entities in higher frequencies and in other planets and, so forth. So it's a belief, right? And we should be pluralistic pluralistic in our society today, pluralistic, right? And or embrace and be inclusive, all types of people, right? And something common, and there's a lot of this thing. So today, I mean, there's a channel that I'm subscribed to in Reddit, and there's a heavy discussion on a recent sighting or alleged sighting, because they floating those pictures around, and some of them said it's verified true, and of course AI can create something that looks very true as well. But I want to discuss, because they always everyone showing a lot of fear and so forth. I don't blame you, but let me discuss it from my perspective and why I feel you should not fear, right? And for those of you who like the contents of my video, um, please do not forget to also like and subscribe if you haven't already. This will greatly help my channel to reach out to more people. And drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you could just share it with one other person or your social media channel, I'll very highly appreciate that as well. Right? But more importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you, because I know it's not easy to get people to watch the channels or the videos. I appreciate your precious time, and a very big thank you for watching and listening to me, right? And for those who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, striving to become grandmaster, and specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. I have an amazing offer: 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you instantly, telepathically, to any location where you are globally, and pay only after you are satisfied. For contact information, visit my website, yogawellness786.com, where you can get more information about my services as well. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching it for 44 years. In that time, I had the great honor and privilege to study under various great masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures, across the globe, from the Far East, the Middle East, the West, including the scientific communities. And I've, over the period, created my own unique protocols, basically adapting them for the 21st century, making them faster, easier, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com. So also remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So when it comes to the, are there aliens or not aliens? So anecdotally, a lot of people say they need empirical, um, empirical evidence, right? So I need to talk. I always like to talk from my own personal experience. So I was in charge of managing a surveillance center, security CCTV surveillance center in a major pharmaceutical manufacturing plant, and we were recording, the every corner of it, because it was a major plant, and they wanted to ensure, compliance, especially that people, especially their pharmacists and so forth, when they enter certain areas, that they're wearing all the proper gear and they're washing their hands and so forth, and to identify anyone who's not following the protocol and start giving them warning notes, because they have to follow very strict protocols, right? And the camera levels were very high level cameras that can identify, and in those years, right now, of course, facial recognition and all is common. But those years, it was like very highly intensive cameras, and you can see very clearly. So there was an experience where there was a footage that was recorded, and unfortunately, because I'm traveling so many countries, I no longer have that footage. I don't want to mention the company because the company said don't make it public. And I never publicized it. I never put it on the internet. I respected, the wishes of the CEO. I said, no, you have my word. I will not. So I'm keeping the company anonymous, but I'm giving you the gist of the experience without mentioning the name of the company and without even sharing it, right? The actual video footage. So I could be lying, of course, but do you think so? Do you think I'm lying? Why would I lie about something like this? What do I have got to benefit from talking about aliens? I'm in the yoga meditation field, and if not, this may alienate people from using my services, right? If I say I believe in, but I want to tell you the truth because I saw this and I want to bring the why would they want to visit, right? So what actually happened is in the footage, we saw something that looked like a flying saucer, right? It was like a wide, and the center was a bit more hip, and like a something like a set of stairs opened up and walked out some. So we couldn't see very clearly, but we can see like humanoid figures, right? And the reason we couldn't see because it was not a physical form, but like um, what do you call this? Um, where the like created by light, right? But definitely, I mean, it's the camera footage. We're seeing the camera. It's just coming in, but you can see through it, right? It was like almost see through, but it came, and we were, of course, not seeing if it's see through or not. We can just see it coming, landing, and a set of stairs opening, and like humanoid figures walking out. And it was very small in size, actually, probably the size of a room, right? Maybe slightly smaller than the size of a standard room, right? That was a size, and the people were very small, like midget size, right? That stepped out, and and then they went back into it or something after a while, and then it just it flew off. And then I took the footage to the CEO of the company. Said, firstly, do not inform anyone because the whole factory will go on strike, and they'll want to call a shaman to that there's some evil spirit, and it will affect production heavily, right? And because people are very superstitious as well. So and it was kept confidential, and the footage I kept a copy of it for my own records, to have that evidence. Of course, people can doctor footage, but those days there was no AI. So this is like 15 years ago or something, and 15 to 20 years ago, I think 20 years ago or so, like that, something around that period. And then coming back to, so that's my experience, right? That I've seen that this, and of course, I'm in the spirituality field that, there is other higher dimensions, but this I saw in a camera, right? It's a physical evidence, right? And I kept the recording. Now it's lost, of course, conveniently. Conveniently, it's lost. And it's good it's lost because I would have released it in YouTube. I would have uploaded it by now, right? Because it's too many. I didn't need to disclose, the name of the company and so forth, without disclosing the name of the company. I would have released it. And there was no identifiable marks that to identify the company or the location of the company in that particular video. Outwardly, and people could test it and see if it is, AI created or not. Sadly, I don't have it anymore. I mean, for most of you, say, of course, conveniently, but as a background, to I like to bring, to the community. And why would AI? People get this thing. So I don't feel there's need because I believe there's two major reasons why people want to. And yes, there can be a reason to be afraid. A third, but it's a very minimal, like almost negligible. It's more dangerous to step out in the street than to get attacked by an alien, right? Because you must understand the two possible. Number one, you must not look from your perspective, that you're seeing the aliens and these are people who can manage to come to our planet, they must be more powerful and they can destroy us. And they are more intelligent. We are thinking from our perspective, right? Look from their perspective. From their perspective is they are in outer space traveling, they're space travelers, right? And if you look at the planet Earth in one of Carl Sagan's videos, just slightly away from Earth, not very near, right? Slightly away, but not as far away as the next planet, not by Mars, right? Little away. Planet Earth look like a small blue spot. Small little, that's how small it looks. Imagine you go to the next planet, you can't even see the planet Earth, right? But it looks blue. What is that weirdness? Not understanding. Not a lot of people don't get it when we say it's a blue spot. When you look at the with the telescope at all the other planets, everything, as far as the eye can see, telescopes can go, and satellites can go, and whatever ships and whatever scientific experiments, as far as they can experiment, everything is dead. As far as we can see, as our eye can see, and our technology can go, with the only living planet on right? So it looks living. How with the blueness of the water is what makes it the blue planet. Now imagine you are an explorer, right? You went traveling, you went on vacation, you went to a new place exploring, you were a kid exploring, you see a new place. Oh, isn't it beautiful? You want to go near and see something. Now you're traveling in outer space, everything is so boring, everything that boom, this blue thing appears in front of you. I mean, an explorer, can he avoid come investigating? Of course, he wants to come to investigate. Number one is curiosity, because those who are space traveling are explorers. Why they're traveling? They're not in their home country, right? Maybe there's some other problem, whatever, but they're traveling, right? They're travelers, explorers, right? Bottom line, they're gonna see something suddenly is beautiful. It lights them up. It's blue in color, and they go near it. There's greenery, and then movement, people, and everything. So this is number one reason why they could be coming, which is the biggest possible reason. The other reason is they're going through all the planet. This is a living planet now. These are higher entities, higher frequency. And I know that if they are able to travel at those speeds, is because they got a fuel source that is much more efficient. So, being an energy healer, we are using energy which is called the chi energy or the prana energy to heal. It's much more efficient telepathically, and it's very powerful, right? If we can harness its full potential, so we know how to transfer it. We know even how to store it in a structure, consecrated structure. Like Sadhguru created a cylindrical structure, and he consecrated it with the energy that even if he passes away, that energy is still there. And it's very powerful. People can go there and meditate and get advanced in meditation just by sitting in its vicinity and power and get initiated. Just even if he is no more here, he can get initialized by that structure, right? We know how to transfer it and store it. We know how to increase it, transfer it, store it, right? And so they've learned how to utilize it to energize mechanical instruments like the engine, right? The turbines and so forth. So they learned how to convert that energy to power up the spaceship and spacecraft. And this is a very nuclear energy is nothing compared to this energy, right? It's the power of the universe, right? That you have. So it is present in everything that is living. Our planet is a living planet, and everywhere there is life and consciousness as well. But it's especially present extra in like the ocean, in the soil, in the trees, in people, right? In living beings, but mainly in natural places and serene places and forests and so forth. So maybe they're coming to refuel because it's got a richer fuel source, right? Than the other dead planets. Dead planets, yes, there is life force, but it's dead means there's not as much of life force energy. Yeah, it's abundant. It's the only planet that's alive. Isn't it like you are traveling so far and there's no life, and suddenly there's life force energy you can come to fuel. So is it a surprise that very often you sight them over an ocean? Because the ocean is abundant with this life force energy. or in plantation areas, and so forth. Not in urban areas. You don't find usually a spaceship reports landing in New York City, right? In an opening, find an airport and a clearing in the airport and land in the airport and decide to meet the communities, right? And of course, from the dangerous side, reports of abductions. So for us, we are a primitive species. Imagine you're a scientist, right? You're a scientist. You came across this amazing species that are in front of you. There's variety of this fish and this rabbit and this ants and this spider. And you're going to take one or two to dissect, right? You don't understand their language. The spiders are talking. We are talking with language. We are talking in a primitive way, right? For them, it sounds like animal talk, right? They are talking, they higher through the mind. It is a more efficient way, of talking higher frequency. To us, we are just animals, right? And they cute. Hi, how are you? Sorry, I just need for science. I need to take this and this thing, and then sometimes they return some of them, right? And the people and safely, and say, okay, go back to your family, your tribe, your whatever it is, right? Yeah, and they put them back, at least some of them are decent. Maybe, some people never return as well because they were, in the name of science, not our science, UFO science, right? The alien people science. There were some of us were sacrificed to that. That is the fear side of it, right? Why they would want? Why would they want to blast and destroy this planet? That is the last possible thing. They want to keep it alive because it's a fuel source and it's amazing, and and it's a beautiful thing that looks beautiful across, one little bright oasis in a desert. When you in a desert, you want to destroy the desert, blow it up. No, who wants to? Whoever did that? No one that I know of. So hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.